And the bot is online. And we're starting the stream. Okay, I had the mic on double there. Now the mic is only on single. Okay, how are y'all doing? Yesterday we were playing with sounds that happen when we have collision events. Like that. All right. I wanted to add a volume control for this. Close others. There's 715209. By your command. Greetings, C17R. Greetings, program. App. Info overlay. Where to add the slider? I don't know. Got too many sliders. I guess we'll add a new row. Oh, we'll add a new row of FOV. I'm not a very good UI designer. Okay. So this is volume. Okay, volume. I don't know what the units are. So what if we just pretend it's 0 to 1? Step by, I don't know, 01. So it's going to be self volume. Pub volume F64. Well, these are all out of order, aren't they? Oh, I hate that. Let's fix it. Cube position goes up. Okay, that looks good. Cube position. Sender goes down. Okay, volume. What to set? Let's have it in the middle to begin with. Okay. Interesting. So we have to have a space there, but the formatter doesn't want me to put a balancing space there. How sad. Hey there, Stripe Monkey. Doing well. Adding a volume slider. Okay, now I have to remember, where did I like interpret the UI stuff? Well, I don't remember. Here's where we dealt with messages. Goodbye. Kiddo going to school. Let's see, let's look for, I guess it is in drawing. All references to the info overlay. Here we go. Here we go. Synchronize the info overlay with the main app state. That looks like a great spot to do it. So, whoops. Right there. Okay. I guess there was a blank line there all the time. Okay, sup, spoof? I have to remember, where did I put that mixer? It's in the event handler, I guess. as ref unwrap map, or yeah. Actually, I can just unwrap it, right? As ref unwrap and then dot something, right? I suppose we'll have to make a method on it, because we have to do all these steps to reach into it. Mixer controller. Is it not mixer controller? Is it mixer? Did I not hold on to the mixer itself? Oh, maybe the mixer is not in the event handler. Where would it be? Here? I can't remember. Can't just unwrap option, borrow of an option T? Yeah, I don't have that all memorized completely yet. At least I can like get something written without having to look up the manual now. New, inner new. Okay, here's where we, whoop. Why did it jump? Oh, because it thought I hit it, the A key. Yeah, it's the mod tap thing. Okay, where did it go? This extension. Here it is. What do we do with the mixer? Oh, we gave it to the stream handle. Okay, gotta look it up then. Right, there was, oh, that's right. Okay, so it was if we wrapped the source with an amplify, then we can do a set factor. And my source was, actually there's a problem, right? Once I add it to the mixer controller, we don't own it anymore. Might want to add rodeo to the stream title then. Yeah, probably should. But that's going to mess up the series names, right? All 24 so far have been the same title. Hey, Prof Audio. Prof Elements Audio. Yep, that's right. Just trying to figure out how do we maintain control of the volume without how do we set the volume on our source, but when we have to give our source to the mixer? I was hoping the mixer controller would have some function. Mixer controller, right? It just has an add. Well, that's no fun. Arc was audios. Solution just arc everything probably. Looks like their solution is to box everything. Probably because they need to erase the type because you can have sources of different types. To do, can we relax this ordering? I don't know why they have an ordering there in the first place. Okay, anyway, okay, I thought this would be easy, but maybe it's not. It doesn't look like they've considered how do you change the volume of a mixer. or a mix, volume of a mix. Because after we do this, this play raw also consumes the source, so we don't have access to it after we start playing the mix. Love me some atomic orderings. Let's upgrade. Let's upgrade. Oh, weak pointer. Mixer's a weak pointer? Oh, it is. Look at that. Dynamic mixer control. Okay, so it holds on to the a pointer to the mix controller. Interesting. I'm just wondering, can I when I make an amplify, when I make one of these, when it is it if I clone it, is it shared? Oh, that's the base clone. Amplify. Source of clone. They just derive it. Okay, so that's not gonna work. I'll get just a different amplification of the same input. Yeah, this is like ridiculously simple, right? I mean, I guess simple is good. Uh, maybe there's a way to control the volume at a higher level through the driver. So where do I hold on to that? Inner? Stream and stream handle. What can I do with those? I guess it's this. Stream trait. I can play and I can pause and I can play and I can pause and I can play, play, pause, pause, pause. Okay. Output stream handle. Oh, it's output stream. It's not just stream. I'm also in the wrong place, aren't I? I'm in C palette. Why? How did I get here? Rodeo. That's where we want to be. Can't really do much with this one either. Output stream handle. What can I do with that? Play once, play raw. Okay. Inner new. Where do I set this up? Eh. Oh, I set it up inside the event handler. Why did I? That's sort of weird. Why did I do that? Okay, so it was like try default. So you get this device, right? So it's a CPAL device. Let's see what that gives me. Yeah, don't really see it. Instead of play raw, why not use a sync? We talked about that yesterday. So sync, if I use the sync method, I can set the volume instead of using a mixer. Oh, what was the problem with sync? At first I thought the sync append, I saw that and it's like adds it to a queue, and I don't want a queue, I want it to sound play immediately, but then there was another method to play immediately, right? Was it? I forget what it was. Play, I guess? No. All the ones that take a source. There's append, which we don't want because that it puts it at the end of the queue, right? I forget what it was, but there was something about this, like, there was an alternative to the mixer if you use sync, but I forget how. Append won't work because it doesn't play immediately, right? Append. I'd have to go back to yesterday's stream and find out what we were talking about, unless one of you remembers. You can use detached. You want sounds to continue playing. Oh, did you see a cat jump behind me? Yeah, I'm glad she didn't decide to claw my eyes out. What if you append a dynamic mixer to the sync? Was that it? Is that I would have the mixer play the sync play the mixer and use the sync to control the volume? Oh, just using the sync and appending one thing into the queue, it doesn't. Everybody could do that. Ugh, I don't like it though. Ugh. Using something for a purpose other than its name. All right, so the way I do it now is how? I use the stream handle to play it. I suppose instead the sync works differently, right? Right, the stream handle is given to try new. Beginning playback on a stream. Does that mean I have to like append the sound first? So it would be sync. Rodeo sync. There's a new idle? Is that private? Oh no, it builds a new sync. Well, what's this source's queue output? The output of the queue implement source. Okay, how is that different from try new? Oh, it doesn't give me a source's queue output. What does it do? Is it added internally? I don't know. What's the difference between that and new idle? Oh, try new does stream play queue internally for me. Got it. So I guess I want to do new idle, then attach it myself, and then take the queue and okay, that's right. New idle, and then sync dot attach. Oh no, I get I get a sync and a cue, right? Append. Append mixer. And then play the cue. So do I need to do this convert samples? I'm wondering. Let's keep it. Like, so we'll append mixer convert samples. I probably don't need that, right? Maybe I don't need that. Maybe it goes onto here. Maybe I don't need it at all. I don't know, let's keep that for now. Linear convert cells, your source doesn't produce F32. It doesn't in my case. I think we found that that was in integers. Bye. Someone else is leaving the homestead. We're gonna keep that for now. Okay, so then I gotta hold on to that sync, I guess. Okay. Because we're gonna be setting the volume on that. All right, sync. We'll come back to that one after the stuff helps me out. So sync. Sync. Dun, dun, dun. Here it is, sync. Okay, cat. Cat, you can just go. Cat's gonna be angry with me. I put her outside the office. The Q does produce F32, so the convert almost isn't technically necessary, you think? We'll see. Yeah, the cat got yeeted. Set volume. App.drawing. Info overlay volume. So it's going to want an F32 for that, right? F32. Cool. Let's see if it works. So it starts off at half volume, right? Okay, and then reduce the volume a bit. Oh, that actually is working. Cool. Full volume, blow your ears off. Just watch out. Yep. I think I have this capped somewhere. Yeah, it's not getting past negative 10 dB on my meter, which is probably a good thing, right? Ready? A lot of sounds overlapping. It already sounds like it's clipping. I think it's because of the sound itself. Because when we have multiple collisions, it's playing the same sound, like overlapping with itself multiple times. It's probably clipping internally to the mixer. Kaboom. So the theory was that I don't need to do, what was it? I totally forget what it was. Go back to the app, right? Convert samples. So if we don't need to do that, we don't need to do that. And that's that. I didn't hear anything about the Unity situation other than I saw when the Primogen started streaming his stream title, something about Unity did what? So I take it there's some drama. Should I look it up? Why not? I'm interested in current events. Unity news. What did they do? Adds a fee for installs for successful small devs, triggering a backlash. They announced a new pricing model and it's kind of wild. This is what we're talking about, right? Game developers furious about Unity's new installation-based fees. So it's what they if you get enough installs of your game, then they ask for money. Yeah, that makes sense that people would get upset. If you go from having to pay 0 to going to have to pay non-zero, of course you're going to get upset. It's like 20 cents per install, which they track with shady proprietary DRM stuff. Ooh, that's not good. Why couldn't they I'll answer my own question. I was like, why couldn't they use the statistics of game platforms? And the answer is that you might not use a game platform. They charge cents off the dollar for every install, no matter the install medium. Right. So like if you were to burn it on a CD, a bunch of CDs, and hand them out to your friends, they can still track it. So does that mean that your games now always have to have an internet connection? I hate that. Why can't they separate that, right? Why do we have to have DRM? It's because of people pirating games in the first place. Okay, dead. Goes into effect in 2024. Oh, that gives people time to port their stuff to Unreal or Godot or something else, right? So, okay, the question for me then becomes, does Unreal do the same thing? Does Unreal charge some monetary amount per install? And do they require an internet connection to install shady DRM stuff? Retroactively applies to games that are already published. Ooh, that's not good. So what is it like? You pay us now for this game you released 10 years ago, otherwise we'll break your games or something? Unreal charges 5% of profits over 1 million. That sounds reasonable to me. And as long as they don't like do shady stuff like with DRM to figure it out. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're losing money. They need to show a profit. Companies suck, you know. Their only interest is to make money. Never fall for the illusion that a corporation cares anything other than money. They lost almost $1 billion. Okay. Shareholders making everything worse. Is it the shareholders though? Companies make money for shareholders. That's why they exist. Again, never fall for the illusion that a corporation, I should say, corporations exist for any reason other than to make money. They might tell you that they're good for they're out there for the environment or give you a service, but that's secondary. Primary is to make money. Unless you had some eccentric billionaire running it who like doesn't care that the money gets that loses money year over year, and they just have some cause that they're interested in. Unless that's true. Okay, do I want to clean this up now? Why do I have a blank line here? Good question. Oh, I wanted to see if we really needed to hold on to this stream because we don't use it, right? Let's experiment. So back in the app, this is getting too big. I think I need to move the sound stuff to another file. Yeah, we have this stream right here, and we have this. So if we turn off allow dead code and we comment these things out, and then we just don't store them at all, what happens, right? So we get these things, but we say, yeah, we don't care about them. We're going to drop them, right? See what happens. Don't want to trust Epic Games, but Unreal sounds a lot nicer than Unity right now. Is that just because of the backlash? Okay, so that broke sound. Question is, do we need to hold on to both? The stream and the stream handle? And then is there a way I can do it without triggering a warning from Clippy? Somehow I have to hold on to it but never use it. I guess we would use it by maybe implementing drop and then dropping it explicitly, and then it's used. Let's see if I can just store the stream handle. Maybe I don't need the stream, right? For higher tiers, it's lower per install, but that means indie devs are more adversely affected since they're using the cheaper tier. So unless there are an incredibly large number of indie devs, I don't see how it really makes sense to milk the indie devs for more money. Doesn't it make sense for them to milk their biggest earners first? I guess maybe all of their earners are indie devs, right? The big studios probably make their own engines. That's what I heard. Okay, so we have to have the stream. Could we not have the stream handle? Unity hasn't gotten better in the past 5 years. Unreal Engine has made great strides. Unity started pushing really shady AI stuff, really? You could just forget if you want to be dumb about it. Just leak it. I think we need to hold on to it, and we want to be clean about dropping it when we're done. Unity already charges 2K per seat per year for the higher tier. Yeah, who knows? Who knows why? Okay, what's the problem here? Did I delete it by accident? Oh no, I didn't. It's down here. Just trying to narrow in on what we do need and what we don't need to hold on to. Because I don't use either of those two. Yep, not using it. Dead code. Okay, now that works. So we don't need the stream handle, but we need the stream. So let's just remove that. We don't need this stream handle if we have the stream. We just lose the ability to play other things, but that's okay because we're playing things through a mixer that's in the sync, and we're controlling the sync for the volume and stuff, right? And we have the actually, where's the mixer controller? Oh, right, we store the mixer controller internally to the event handler because the event handler is the one that adds sounds, right? Right, okay. I guess that's okay for now, but this kind of maybe should go to some part of the app unless we consider the event handler part of the app, which maybe we do. Okay, so get rid of the stream, right? What happened here? No, the other one. Get rid of the stream handle. Okay, and then we have the stream. We'll fix that warning in a moment. I think I have a way. I have a way to do that. Okay, my idea was to implement a drop for inner. This is maybe a cheesy way, I don't know. And inside our drop, we do we do drop self.stream. Cannot move out of self stream, which is behind a mutable reference. Okay, we can't drop it. Come on, what can I do with it? Can I tell it to stop? How come I can't do anything with the stream? What should I be able to do with an output stream? I can't really do anything with it. If this is drop, playback will end, and the attached handles will no longer work. So it just wants me to own this. So maybe there is no way to cheese it. I just have to hold it and never use it. So then what do? Just mark it explicitly with this thing? Can I do that for this just the field? Yes, I can. So what I'm going to do is the only purpose of this object is to keep the sound going. It has no useful it has no methods at all. No accessible methods at all. It is pure baggage. There we go. If we were to drop it, sound wouldn't work. There we go. You can do an underscore prefix. I think I still want the comment though, right? Yeah, you're right. I could put an underscore prefix in front of this, right? But I still want the comment to say, why did I do that? Right? Right here. Fair enough. Oh, why am I getting a warning on this? Use binding underscore stream, which is prefix with underscore. Leading underscore signals that a binding will not be used. That's correct. Unused underscore binding. Why are we warning on that? I think it's because of pedantic. Normally I like the pedantic warnings, but maybe this one we allow globally. The other thing to do would be to give it a name and then erase the usefulness attribute of the name. I guess that's what we're saying here. We're saying we got something that we could use, but we decided not to use it. There we go. Yeah, so we made the local variable not an underscore. So say, yeah, we'll use it. Don't worry. And here's how we use it. We stuff it into a slot that we say we're not going to use anymore. But with the caveat of we have to keep it and we have no use for it other than to hold on to it. All right, it's been forever since I made a check-in. Have collisions make sounds. Very elaborate. Very a lot of information in that commit, right? Okay, the refactoring time, because we've passed the point of this file being insanely long. So I had the drawing stuff segregated. Let's have the sound stuff as well. So app, where are you? App, yeah, drawing. So let's make a new one called sound. High information density. What might call it? High entropy. Yes. Mod sound. Go away. Don't show this message again. Yes. If you ever do, you'll be in trouble. Okay, let's grab things that belong in sound. And we're going to give this a better name than event handler. Right? Actually, you know what I'm thinking? The event handler is specific to the physics engine. It happens to handle a force event by making a sound, right? Okay, well, let's move it first. Yeah, let's move it first, but then I'm thinking about separating the physics from the sound, like explicitly. So it gets cut from there and pasted here. I like this trick of taking all of the imports and copying them, so I don't have to like figure out what I need to import. We just need to change some of these to super, like all of these, right? Yeah, okay, and then looks like stone.og moves into sound, or moves into app, so that's right there, it moves there. Now you're happy. Okay. Cool, so this probably will move. No, it doesn't. This will import. To do that, we have to make it public. Time to let the cat back in. She looks like she's playing. She's entertaining herself with the scratching post. So I don't have to worry about. Or I don't want to let her in because she'll start scratching up the furniture in here. Um, I need to make the new public. Back to app. Okay, all the errors are gone. But there's more things I want to move, right? Maybe not. How big is how much did we shrink it? It's still pretty big. This stuff I wanted to move. Yeah, we want to separate this stuff. So yeah. Pub struct sound. And into here I'm gonna put like sync and stream and event handler. Actually, no, I'm not gonna put event handler in. Oh, actually, let me think about this. Event handler needs to move to an if I put the physics stuff in a different place, then the physics world and the event handler would go together in that part of it. Okay, so then we're just moving this in there for now. Okay, I think I want to have a new for that. Okay. Event handler new has some of it, right? A lot of this stuff. So let's pull some of this stuff out. Okay, and then put it here. So you get the, yeah, okay. So I do want to put that temporarily into sound. Okay. All right, so then what does the event handle, how much this does the event handler do? Right now it does this part of it. So yeah, this mixer controller should go out. The event handler right now, let's just have it own that sound. So I think what I'll do is we'll have the event handler borrow, I was gonna say borrow the sound stuff, but let me think about this. Yeah, the event handler is going to like bring together the physics world and the sound stuff. So it will borrow both in a way, and it'll do this part, right? Actually, this we were just doing for testing, so I don't even need to do that right now. It's when when the collision happens right here, it does that. Oh, that means because this is a trait implementation, it needs access to that mixer controller in the first place, so it needs to be shared, right? Or move it back into the event handler. I think structurally, I'd like to be able to eventually have other things go into the mixer, right? Other than physics events. So yeah, so then we'll have it be, it's already shared, right? It can be in both places. Okay. Does it need to be arc? Is it arc because it comes out as an arc? Yes. We're given to it. We're given it as an arc. Okay, so then we would say that it is passed in to new. And we don't get a sync or output stream out of that. Actually, so this really moves to sound there. Okay, and then the controller is just giving us a self. It gets a reference to the mixer controller, so it doesn't need to do this stuff. It loads the sound file and it owns that. Cursor reader, don't need that, that, or any of this. We might not need an inner anymore, right? Or no, the buffered sound wasn't send, right? That was the problem. One of these isn't send or sync. So we sync it with the mutex. Okay, so then we don't need, oh, we do need a controller. Just get rid of the rest of this stuff. Okay, and then this stuff is we don't do these things. We do that. We don't do that. We do that. Okay, and then self. We don't have an inner. We have to make an event controller. So okay, let event handler, right? New mixer controller clone. Shouldn't some of this move? Yeah, some of this should move into there. Hold on. I'm getting confused. We don't return the sink or the stream, we hold on to it. Right. Okay, so then this is also just self. We don't have this anymore. We do that. And what's the problem with this? Oh, this needs to be some because we do a trick where we pull it out and put it back in. Mixer controller goes in there too. Go away. Those pop up. I think I might turn that off. Where if you mouse over and you get a pop up, that happens way too much, way too often when I don't want it. So I'm thinking of making that where it doesn't happen on an idle. It's just I have to actually hit a key to make it happen. All right, back to the app. Okay, so the model I found when with doing the drawing is to make it public, right? Oh, it was that drawing itself is in app, and then it has method. Okay, so then the idea here would be sound would move this part. Um, do I want all this stuff? Now let me try to separate it correctly this time. So we do that why? So that we can let the physics world borrow it. So then it should be like sound dot take event handler. And this would be sound dot give event handler. And we don't have a sound. Let's add it. Sound. Okay, let's have these as actual public methods. So this is going to return an event handler. And it has to be mutable self. So it would be self dot event handler dot take dot unwrap. Okay, then pub function give event handler mutable self and event handler. Self dot event handler equals some event handler. All right. Okay, good, 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 good. So let's forward this. Sound dot set volume. Okay. Set volume. F32, right? Right, so it's self dot sync dot set volume. All right, what else? Okay, we don't do this anymore, right? It's just let's let sound equals sound new. And then we put sound in here. Easy. Oh, that's interesting. Why can I not compute that and then pass it to that? For real? I gotta do this trick? Volume, let volume equal that. Lame. Lame. I think that's lame. Why do I need to give that a name only to like pass it into to set, which takes an F32? Is it because it's really getting a reference? So then maybe the answer is that I can do that. I have to dereference it explicitly. No, that doesn't do it. Cannot be dereferenced. Well, then why does that just not work? Can't borrow app immutable because also borrowed as mutable. Mutable borrow occurs out the same line and is used later in the call. That's lame. I officially call that lame. Okay, we can get rid of some of these things we didn't need, right? So we no longer know at the app level we're using Rodeo at all, which is nice. The sound submodule takes care of that, right? This is a good separation of concern. The only thing we know is that we use sound. We let the sound stuff take care of it, right? Sound probably shouldn't care about anything but sound. So no drawing, no overlay, no models, none of this stuff. That goes away. None of the drawing stuff, that goes away. No linear algebra, right? No slices. Okay, we still have a dependency on the physics engine. I wanted to try to sever that. So it knows about the rigid body set. It knows about the collider set. It doesn't need to know any of that. Okay, here's the hard dependency on Rodeo, right? We don't need that. We don't need any of this. We don't have MPSC stuff here. No time concepts, no wgpu. Correct. Okay. So it's these dependencies I kind of want to sever from it. Okay, that's true that we'd never use the mixer controller now, but I intend to use it in the future. So what can I do here? I guess mark it specifically with an underscore and put a comment here. This is here because I anticipate using it to make more sounds in the future that have nothing to do with collisions. Okay. Cool. So I have 3 errors. Where are the errors? In here somewhere? Inside new? Right. Do that. Now we have 0 errors. Sound event handler, perfect name. Yeah, but I don't. I guess that's actually true, right? We want to handle a physics event by playing a sound. What if instead I separated it with a closure? Okay, our sounds still work. Detonate. Boom. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really want it to be here, right? I want it to go with the app at the top level because I want to separate the physics engine completely So that would be that's going to drive the change. If I move this out and put it back into the app, right? So that goes in inner. And I'll fix the name too later. Okay, so that implies that event handler kind of belongs with the main app. Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have sound be able to pass out functions or closures on demand function objects that can play sounds. That's what I'm going to do. So we manufacture these sounds this way, right? So that should be like where do I cut here? If I were to make something that generates like a function that returns a sound, this is a macro, so it's not like I can pass the string in, right? That has to be a literal string. Um, again with the pop-up, I need to get rid of that. Designing is hard. What do I do here? What do I do? What do I do? Okay, concerns, right? So we should have something that does this. Actually, there's two different concerns here. There's the actual sound, and then there's taking a sound file and decoding it. Really, that's this, right? So there should be like one for getting the stone sound in the first place, second one for decoding it, and then the third one for playing it. Really, that's down here, right? That's this line. So that should be three separate functions of sound. The rest should move out. So if the rest moves out, then event handler doesn't actually need the sound anymore, right? So buffered sound can stay here. We get rid of this. Actually, the event handler doesn't need the mixer controller either. It really is going to hold on to a function. Okay, let's do it this way. This is going to be captured into a closure ultimately, right? So let me get rid of it. I hate to do this. Let's just comment it out. So it's going to have, there's going to be a type. It needs to be generic, that the event handler doesn't care what's being done. There's no arguments to playing when the collision happens, right? I guess there's the force magnitude. What are the things I potentially want in a at the app level? I think what I want is I want the force magnitude and I want the two model handles. Okay, so that's what I want. I want an event callback. And this is specifically a collision callback. Collision callback equals a pure function, no, a mutable function, I think. Yeah, because it needs to be able to mutate what it captures. In this case, it'd be the mix controller because we add, where is it? We add, and probably add is a mutable self. Let me uncomment that to be sure. Oh, it's not. Interesting. So that means it's in probably interior mutability, right? Through a mutex. Okay, so then it can probably just be a function, right? It doesn't need to, probably doesn't need to. Let's leave it let's leave it open. That you might want to mutate it. Okay, so then what's the syntax here? Is it like this? Or is it like this? I can never remember the syntax here. Hello, Void Yash 567. How are you doing? Okay, it is looks like a function. That's what it is. Okay, back looks like a function. So it's a model instance, and the force, which is like probably a F32, right? No return value expected. Okay, so then really that's here. These I want to separate from this, so we're kind of commenting them out for now. So that means I probably don't need this mutex, and I don't need to have an inner, right? What's wrong with this? Right. I need to box it. Because I don't want to make it generic. Because I want to be able to register more than one. Right? Hold on. Does that mean I want the decision part of this to be in the callback? No. Yes, I want it to be in the callback. So there really is only one callback. So can I just make it generic then? So then it's generic on some type of, so yeah. This would be this, right? Let it figure it out. So that means my sound is going to be generic on that, right? No, it's the physics engine that will be. What's wrong with this? These types not known? Import them, please. For now. Cannot find it. What? I thought I just told it to import it. Oh, as model instance. Still doesn't like it. Missing generics. Oh, those. No, that's the wrong type. What's the type? It's usize. Actually, the type was really I had a type name for it. Where was it? Was it in the app? Drawing, maybe? I don't remember this stuff. Model instances. Instance handle. That's what it was. Model instance handle. Okay. Back. These are model instance handles. There we go. Okay, what's wrong with this? So is it that this is that and I had to put a dine there? I thought you could, is it that I call that a trait? How do I do this? Trait alias are experimental. How do I like give a name for a complex trait? Because I guess, I mean, I could just put this here, but it's complicated, right? But then we don't need the dine there, right? But this has to be like a box. No. I'll get rid of this. This has to be a box dine callback. Wait. Is that right? I guess that is, right? So then I'm thinking I don't need a mutex here. It's just that inner. But then I need to, yeah, it's the fact that I have to repeat this type. I don't like it. I'd like to give a name to that. And it's not a type, right? Is it using? Is that how it's done? So collision callback equals that? It's not use, it's use. As? I forget how this works. Is it that? As that? Let's look it up. Rust. Trait alias. Trait alias. Trait alias. It's a feature. Oh, really? So it's like not stable yet or something? So it is like this, but it's trait. And the whole thing is an unstable feature. It's an experimental feature. Ah. But that's what I want. I want it. I don't want to have to see that more than one place. Ah. I would like to alias this unwieldy. That's not how you spell wield. Unwieldy trait. But that would depend on a currently experimental feature. Okay. Okay, we'll just leave it. Okay, so then we have to be repetitive here. And that's going to bleed all the way down into sound, isn't it? Actually, it's going to bleed all the way to the app. Oh, wait, no. I'm thinking too far ahead. So the app is going to make a function object and it's going to give it to the event handler, but the event handler really doesn't care about the type. So it could be boxed. But if I don't box it, then the event handler itself has to be generic, which makes the app generic because the app's going to hold on to that event handler. Oh wait, no, the type gets erased anyway. So this is fine because it'll get erased anyway when we pass it to the physics engine. Cause that happens. Oh no, we do that repeatedly, right? So I do have to hold on to it. That's probably what these errors are. Yeah, so the inner will have to be generic on the type of the event handler. I think it's gross. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. So we're going to make this not generic. It's going to box it. So instead of having this inner, I guess that's what the inner really is. Let's box it. Box dine that. So that means I gotta fill this in here. Expected trait found. That's not a trait, it's a struct. So then there's no dine there, but there, I need to have a dine somewhere. Is it here? I forget how this works. Wait, I'm missing some syntax. No, I'm not missing syntax. What's the problem here? Size for that can't be known. It's not sized. Consider implicit size restriction, but oh, right, because this isn't sized. Shoot, that's not gonna work. Why am I boxing the callback there anyway? I think because I just don't need this. Too many commas. So I don't really need this at all, right? This is just all going to be commented out. Okay, so the event handler just holds on to a callback that we're going to call. All right, let's get to it. So yeah, I wanted to separate this out. So let's just copy this and comment out the old one. It doesn't actually get a mixer controller anymore. It actually gets a function. Actually, it gets this whole thing. So really, we're just holding on to it. So we're gonna just self callback. It's all that it is. And then oh. So I gotta put it in a mutex after all. So we'll just put it in a mutex instead of a box. So that means that didn't fix it. All right, I ran into this yesterday. A mutex still isn't send. You can't send. No, it's the thing that's inside the mutex is still has to be send also, which it's not. Crap. So how did I fix this yesterday? Oh, I had to put it in. No, mutex is all I had to do. Okay, then why is this not working? I have to say it's send. That's the problem, right? Because it's a trait, so I have to actually say it is send. And I probably also need to say that it's sync. It's a promise that it will be, right? And I got to put it in the other place too. So my type is even more complicated, right? Because it's really that. Oh, wasn't there was a way to do this, right? Wasn't it just to define a trait that depends on another trait? Like, can't I say trait callback? I can do this, right? Depends on that. And it's just empty otherwise? I can do it that way, right? Yeah, then can't I say that this is just dyn of that. Let's see if I can get away with that. That's what I want to get away with, right? To make a derived trait that has all the things I want. Okay, let's see if this will work. This is probably going to get me in trouble. So if I put that there, now it works, right? Maybe? Can't be known at compile time. It's because I'm moving it from a box to a mutex. So really, what I want is this out here. How come I can't type? Dyn t, and then mutex new callback. What is it? Is it that this goes here? I can never remember this stuff. That's more correct, right? Expected trait found at t, so it's just t. And then okay, I'm really confused. Why can I not do this? Size for values of type callback cannot be known at compile time. Within the event handler, the trait size is not implemented for it. Structs must have a statically known size. That's why I put it into a mutex. Is mutex not? Yeah, mutex can be not have the t not sized. So what's the problem here? Put it here, right? So what's the type of that? It's a mutex of t. What's wrong with that? It's not right because of what? Is it because I need to put dyn in one of these? Now I'm just grasping at straws. Okay, this has to be a trait. Now it's generic on some kind of on any kind of closure, right? The dyn doesn't happen until we put it into the mutex. Is that the problem here, that this type isn't right? That there's a difference between that and this? Let's just add a dyn there. So am I just not constructing the mutex correctly? Is it impulty? Expected a trait. Why is it expecting a oh, that's a type parameter, not a trait. Do I do this? It's the same, it's just the same thing, right? Mismatched types. Is that the hint? Mismatched, the types don't match. Expected a mutex, dyn, all that stuff. Found a mutex of imp. Okay, what if I put it back the way it was? Now what's the hint say? Okay, mismatched types. It expected one type, found a slightly different type. I guess, what if I do a box T? Actually, what if I'm more explicit that it's a some type there? And then we don't need to do that. I want to unbox it. Can I unbox it? Is it into? Always try into and see if there's a conversion. Nope, there's no into. Can't go from a box to a mutex. Okay, now I'm curious. Rust. Convert box to mutex. Mutex contains a box. Use a dyn trait ref with the mutex. Ah, this is exactly what I'm trying to do, right? A box of foo can be coerced to a box of dyn bar. This is called unsizing coercion. Box is one of the few types in standard that's supported. However, this coercion can only happen when you actually have an expression. Can't see the rest of it. Expression of type box foo. When the box foo is behind an indirection, like it's contained in a mutex, you can't coerce it anymore. Mutex stores its data inline, not on the heap. That's the problem. Okay, so wait, then how is it because this is old? No, it's not that old. If it stores its data inline, then how can it handle an unsized type? Should I be trying that? So, but back to mutex new as box dyn. So get rid of that. No, it already is the right type. So what's the problem? Is the problem that it needed a dyn there? I hate doing this, but let's see what happens. Okay, it accepted that. But yeah, that seems redundant to me. Is that what they're saying though? I guess so. Mutex box. But should I do that for now and like figure this out later? Figure it out later. Right, so then this stuff is going to be done somewhere else, right? Really what we're going to do is self dot callback dot lock dot unwrap dot and then just call it, right? Model handle 1, model handle 2, total force magnitude, right? So, and then this logic and then the knowledge of the mixer controller and all that stuff goes elsewhere. Okay. So yeah, the whole idea was to move this back out. So let's do that. This with this goes like back to the app for now. So let's move it back. moves back to the app. Where to put it? My organization is terrible. I should have all my structs and then all my impulse, right? So like, let's just put it here. All right, then fix the errors. Mutex comes from standard sync. Collision callback. What? Oh, it's here. We're seeing if we can get away with that trick rather than having a trait alias, right? All right, and then what's missing? Event handler. Do we need to store that in the app anymore? Yes, we do, because we're going to let the physics engine borrow it. And I think it still needed to be an option. Event handler. That's not what we do there. Yeah, we do what we used to do there. So in addition, so let event handler equals sum event handler new. And then we gotta put the callback in there. Right, so then this is gonna be like model instance 1 model instance 2. Basically what I had commented out over here somewheres. Actually, that's back here now. It's here somewhere. Here it is. This stuff. Total force magnitude. Uncomment. And the whole thing needs to be boxed. Or do I do a box new around this thing? I think when I get rid of these other, oh, it's handle. When I get rid of these other errors, it'll work. Okay, so we have to give it a reference to the mixer controller, which we don't have. I think the idea was each sound should do this. I should have a method of sound called like play or something. So pub append play some sound, right? And that's a source. And then it goes and tells self mixer controller to add this sound, the source. Like that. Okay. Oh, because of the other errors? We're gonna get rid of, it doesn't hold on to the event handler anymore. So I'm just gonna comment that out. We don't need to give or take anymore. Oh, okay. Right, so we actually have a mixer controller now. That's the whole point. It's generic on some type, so I should probably have this also be generic on some type. Same way, we just pass it along so that's this sound. Oh, I gotta put it into a different impl. Yeah, well, I could just do it this way. Sound. Actually, do I need it to do this way, or can I just make it generic there? Okay, it's S, where it's the source S. Import it from rodeo. Remove these generics. Tray takes 0 generic arguments. Source? Really? Wait a minute, but it wanted a generic before. Oh, it's item equals S. It's an associated thing. No, it's not. What is it? What is it? No, it has to be send and static. Fine. Wait, what? Oh, it's further generic? Grr. Okay. So does that mean I have 2 things here? Ah, that's so painful. Okay, fine. So that's just source, right? And then that goes in here. Actually, I guess that means we don't need an S. Expected trait found parameter, because that goes, I guess we'll do that there. Gosh, I'm really tripping on traits today, aren't I? Okay, I have to remember that these are concrete types. That's fine. And this has to be a concrete type as well, right? Yes. So it's the error is probably that it needs, yeah, okay, so I don't want to die in there. I actually want a concrete type. Sample. I don't know. How about that could be S and this can be T. I hate single letter things though. So that's a T and that's an S. Ugh, hate it. What's the problem here? Oh, so that actually has to be specific. I-32. So, okay, that makes it easy. So can I put source here? Or is it going to get real confused about that? Yeah, it does. So, what do we call this? Like, sound instead of source? Yeah, okay, that reads better. It's fine. Okay, fixed it. Back to the app. Yeah, so here we don't want to have to do that. We just want to have the mixer controller. So, how do we do this? I want to have like a move, and into that I want to I've saw someone else do this trick where you make another scope here and then you can just say let and then set up your captures, right? We have the, oh no, we don't want the mixer controller, we want the sound. Yeah, sound needs to be shared then, doesn't it? we haven't set up sound yet. We set up sound here. So put it there. Yeah, so it needs to be static, right? So I'll need to make we're gonna have to like package it up. Let's see if I can get away with well, let's just do the full thing. Arc new, mutex new, right? Let's see if we can. I need to get better at these types, like RC, ARC, mutex, all that stuff. So anyway, I should be able to say sound.clone and use it here. So this would be sound.add. Well, sound is sound lock unwrap, and then sound. I can just do this in one line, right? Sound lock unwrap, add some sound. So that sound we can make here, right? I can say let stone one. Oh, I didn't make a method for that yet, right? Instead, I had it all commented out somewhere. Where was it? Up here somewhere? Here it was. Let's just put it in here. Okay, so that means this needs to move up. Move. Cursor is from standard IO. So same thing with buff reader, decoder. Let's qualify that. What? Oh, I have to use rodeo source. Okay, and arc. Gosh, this is heavy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll make this. I'll fix this. I'll get it to work. I promise. Okay, so we don't need to do this anymore, right? No, we still need to do this. The event handler is no longer in the app anymore. So it's just app.eventhandler.take unwrap. And it's app event handler equals sum. Okay, fix that. Syntax errors, why? There's whoa. What happened here? Oh, I see. This it's like that. So that one goes with that. That goes with that up there. Is it just this comma? Doesn't belong? Okay. So why can't we not call add? Sound is of what type? It's the arc mutex sound. Sound has no add? What? I thought I had, oh, it's play, not add. Okay, and then it's not inner anymore, it's just stone one clone. Okay, so that's not how you box a function. So I suppose it's box new. Too many, okay, so it goes there, right? Can you cargo run to see how the project evolve? You want to see me run it? I can't cargo run while it doesn't build, but I can run the last build. Ah, sorry. There we go. You want to see how it's been evolving? We can move the camera around. I could add a bunch of cubes. They make sounds now when they collide with things. I can shoot blocks at things. I can even explode the ones that are left over. Boom. We can adjust the volume so it's not so loud. You can still hear it, but it's not as loud. So now I'm trying to work on separating the sound from the physics, because I coupled them while I was developing this. And as usual, I'm struggling with Rust stuff. The trait collision callback is not satisfied. Required cast from box, some closure to box. Dyne collision callback plus static. So my closure doesn't obey dyne collision callback. That's what I was afraid of. So let me get rid of this for now. So we'll just move back to using this. Okay, so that would go in a bunch of places. There and there. Oh, I have another error. Sound. Right. Oh, but that fixed the other problem, right? Okay, cool. So okay, except for this, the formatter is going to have a problem with this because the string is too long. Shoot. Gonna make it shorter by doing this trick. I'm only doing this to make the formatter work. There's like a bug in the formatter where it won't reformat if the string is too long, right? So that should go there. Now the formatter reformatted everything, right? If the string is too long, it wigs out. So now it's okay. And now what? Yeah, so I'm able to box our closure up. It has the capture, the closed on the things we want, which is the sound, and this is really the sound system. I should probably rename that. Anyway, the event handler now is decoupled from the sound because the sound is all packaged up in this closure that we give the event handler. So the event handler should have no ties back to the sound stuff. I just need to fix these other errors. Right, and that's because we wanted to hold on to a reference to use it later, maybe. So I gotta go to that and make this. Let's try that again. Double click brings me there, right? Arc mutex sound. Okay, still have two errors. Right, so now if we to change the volume, we have to lock and unwrap the mutex. To set the volume. Okay, got that. Oh, no, our closure's still a problem. To make the trait work, you would have need to do impl that for t. Oh, right. I forgot that's the other half of the trick, right? You have to say blanket implementation. That the collision implements that other. Yeah. So, but something's still wrong with my closure. What is it? Cannot be sent between threads. What is this? Its sound can't be sent? That's why I put it into an arc. Did I not do this right? It's an arc mutex. Why can I not send that? What if I don't move? What does it complain about? No, it's something else. Within app sound, the trait send is not implemented for something. Okay, put this move back. I want to get more easy to read errors. All right. Oh, it's saying my box, I guess, can't be sent between threads. Because there's a phantom data inside of something. Inside of the sound, because sound holds the stream? Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So for arc to implement sync, mutex has to implement sync, and for that, sound has to implement send. But we can't send it. Well, shoot, how do I fix this? It's because I'm like wrapping up all these this thing, right? See, I don't understand enough about arc and mutex. I thought that this would be enough to make it send and sync. Because mutex makes things sync, right? And I thought arc allowed it to be sent. But I think I'm wrong about that. I gotta end the stream soon anyway to start work. I'm stuck. Where's Sarah again when you need him? Need like someone who knows Rust better than I do. This is the second time. I ran into problems with mutex yesterday. There's something I just don't get about it. Maybe I need to go back to the manual and read about mutex again. It has this what is it? This output stream has this thing in there that it's purposefully cannot send or sync, so you can't share it between threads. You think I should just pop the escape hatch prof elements and mark it unsafe that it implements send and sync? So for some reason they don't want me. They want to tie this output stream to the thread I created it in. That's the problem, right? And there's no real way. If something can't be sent, you can there's no amount of packaging can be done to prevent it to allow it to be sent, right? A separate handle to it. Oh, I see what you're saying. When we made it, right? We got a handle. And it decided not to store the handle. Instead, we stored the stream itself. So you're saying maybe the stream can't be sent, but we could use the handle to get back to the stream? But it said that if we drop the stream, that it stops everything. So maybe we hold on to the stream, but we don't put it into the closure. We instead get a handle. Okay, so if from a handle we can get the stream back, then maybe that's what we're supposed to do, right? So you might be onto something, prof elements. Can we? Actually, I think I was just looking at it, right? Try from I was thinking there would be a try from handle, but maybe not. Okay. Maybe it's a method of the handle. No, it doesn't give us a way to get the stream back. And why did I need the stream in the first place? I just needed to hold it. Well, shit, if I just need to hold it, I don't need, it doesn't need to go into the closure at all, right? So if I separate sound, if I move this back into the app, and the app just, actually I don't need the sync either, right? I only really need the mix controller. Okay, so if I could break, yeah, actually I don't need to break any encapsulation. I can just copy the mix controller and not put the cell sound in the closure in the first place. So we basically get the mix controller. Actually, but that does break my encapsulation. It breaks this encapsulation. Okay, so yeah, yeah, I gotta break the encapsulation for now. So we'll do it this way. Get mix controller. I hate to do this. We're gonna break the encapsulation just to get it to work, and then we'll see what we can do. Self.mixcontroller.clone. Okay, and then back in the app, mix controller. I think the solution is we need two sound things. We want one aspect of sound which holds on to the stream, and the other aspect of sound which is shareable that encapsulates how sound works. So like maybe sound resources and sound actor or something like that. Something you can call methods and it actually does stuff with the sound. Anyway, this would be sound get mix controller, right? Oh, I have to lock it. Lock, unwrap, get mix controller. Okay, and then we say mix controller here. Now it is, and instead of play, it's add, right? Add. Now it suddenly works. Let's see it work. That was it. Thank you, Prof Elements. This is what you're trying to say yesterday? Yeah, I still have a mental block of some kind about our commutex, and then apparently like I just didn't get the thing about the stream. Is that if that's what you were trying to say yesterday, Chatfo? So I think the handle, they just said it was just for convenience, right? It's just a more flexible handle that provides playback, but that's all it provides is playback. Um, oh wait, were you trying to say that I don't actually need a sync? I could just do play raw? And how does this work? Is it internally use a sync? Oh, they actually have a mixer internally? Huh. Thing is, like, how do I control the volume of that mixer, right? I don't know how that works. Yeah, they have a mixer controller in there. But how do I, like... The way I'm setting a volume is through a sync, right? And my sync would be mixed into whatever else goes to the output stream, right? So if I adjust the volume of my sync, it doesn't adjust the volume of anything that I play raw, right? Because this bypasses my sync. Play once makes a sync and appends. Yeah, so if I want to control one sound, I can do it and it'll just make a sync for me. Yeah, I think the problem I have is that I can't use this handle really very well because I can't control the global volume because there's a mixer internally and they don't use a sink on it, and so I can't control the volume. So really this handle is sort of useless to me. And this stream is purposely not send or sync, so I can't share it. It's sort of bogus. Why do that? Anyway. Sound still works. And that doesn't blow your ears off, especially if I lower the volume more. Now it's just in the background. Detonate. Okay. Oh, I'm happy I got it to work. Usage of an arc that is not send or sync. Send is not implemented for mutex. Sync is not implemented for mutex. Consider using R. Yeah, it's saying I don't need an RC. Because it doesn't need to be sent. Okay, yeah, we're not sending it. So this doesn't need to be done. That doesn't need to be done. We don't need to do this stuff. So this doesn't need to be shared anymore. Right. We can't share it. We can't share that part of it anymore. So we don't need to lock or unwrap. Problem here. Oh, mute. Honestly, just keep a buffered sound, and when you play it, you do it amplify. We need to control the volume. But that just amplifies that one sound, right? I wanted a global volume control. So the only way we found out to make a global volume control is to make a sink and send everything into that sink, right? So that I can set the volume on the sink. So everything plays through this, everything plays through a mixer, which is on top of the sink. And that's how I do it. If there's a better way that you know, I really like to know. Like this sink for me only serves the purpose of being able to set a global volume. So maybe I'm just not using it the way it's intended to be used. Okay, so we severed this. I can delete all that. It has nothing to do with event handler anymore. You don't think it's better your way? It's just a different way of using it. Okay, we don't need this. Do we never use buffered sound? Or did that get moved? It got moved. Okay, so shouldn't it go here though? Why is it in the app? What's it telling me about this? Very complex type used. Right, so I wanted to use this. And there was a way we had to do a blanket implementation to make it work, right? Yeah, let's try that. So I wanted to say that. And problem is, if I do that, it just moves the problem, right? Moves the problem to down here. So the theory, which I think is correct, is that we can do an impl of this trait for the other one, right? That's not right. What's the exact syntax? Impl, oh, it has to be a generic. Like that, right? Oh, it's 140. Yes. Private trading public interface can't leak it. Then we make it public, right? Hey, that worked. We tricked Rust into using making this a trait alias. So this is effectively a trait alias because we have a blanket implementation for all, basically for all closures that can be sent and synced and have these arguments, for all of them, we implement our super trait for them. So that allows me to use it as if it as a trait alias because of this blanket implementation. That's a total hack. I'd rather just have a trait alias, right? Because that's all it really is. I just want an alias. I don't want to actually. I don't need a blanket implementation. Yeah. So this is like overkill and awkward. So we'll say that. Yeah, I'll leave this one. This is like a note, right? Because we revisit this one when it's no longer experimental, right? Okay. Don't need arc. So I need to read the book again on Rust to realign my understanding of what an arc and a mutex are. I guess I had thought that you could use a mutex to make something shareable when it's fundamentally not, or is it that it's, no, that you could send it between threads. And arc and mutex don't actually allow you to take something not send and send it, right? That's the problem. Mutex lets you synchronize, and arc lets you share, but you can't share something unless it's shareable, right? Um, or you can't send it across. You can't have two threads share something unless it's sendable, right? That's the fundamental thing that I need to drill into my head. Cool. So sound does, that's the whole objective. Sound no longer depends on the physics engine. It's severed. I wanted to revisit that. So why is it that we don't need that type anymore? Oh, I know why. Because we hid it inside of the closure, right? This thing, we completely hid it. It's actually this type stone 1, right? But we kind of constructed it and we kind of moved it into the closure, which is probably the right thing to do now that I think about it. So we don't need to have this type anymore. Because this will work with anything, any source of ICE 16 samples. So this play isn't used because we had to break the encapsulation for that. And the only solution to this is to divide sound into two pieces, the one that can't be sent and the one that can be. I guess we don't need to put the sync into closures, right? It's really the mix controller. Okay, let's fix the warnings first, right? Do I have enough time? I got like maybe 5 minutes. Can I do this in 5 minutes? That's the only. Let me check everything in. What happened here? Show. No, I don't want that. Delete it. Goodbye. I don't know what that was doing. Okay, so basically, I moved all the sound stuff into sound. So git commit uh, extract sound submodule of app. Submodule, subclass, whatever. Same thing. Okay, if I wanted to like not expose the mix controller and I wanted to play, and that's so that back here I can just say that we do want to share something, and so we're going to have like this sound and we're going to like clone it because we just want to say sound play. That's what I want, right? Fact is we can't clone it because it's not clonable. So I think what I want to do is get two things out, right? We want one thing that holds the sync in the stream, and we want something else that holds the mix controller. Yeah, fundamentally, I get two things out. Makes me think I need to think carefully about my names. Maybe add rodeo to title if that fits. Yeah, that's the second suggestion. The thing is that I started the series without it in there. Drago 181218996. Thank you for the raid. Check out what I'm doing. I got physics engine, I got graphics, I got sound. I have shooting diamond blocks, and I have blowing them up later. I'm just playing around with Rust libraries to do certain things. Trying to get better at the libraries and Rust in general. Struggling with Arc and Mutex today and yesterday. I didn't actually anticipate doing sound at all in this project, but I am now. And so, like we were just talking about, I should probably update my stream title to include the library I'm using for sound. I'm making a YouTube VOD series. I just export all my VODs to YouTube. I've always done that. So yeah, I'm just really playing around. This isn't trying to make a game or a serious program. It's just a sandbox, literally a sandbox because there's sand in it, to play around with different libraries. And the idea would be I learn a little bit about it, and if I actually make a serious project later which uses some of these libraries, I can go back to the sandbox and like figure out, like refresh my memory on how to use them. Yeah, hi, how are you doing? I'm gonna give you my wave. Hey. So yeah, the libraries wgpu for the graphics, rapier for the physics engine, rodeo for the sound, egui for the user interface stuff up here, and winit for the window integration, and a bunch of other libraries that glue things together. Okay, I think you guys have convinced me. I'll update the title to say learning wgpu, egui, rodeo, and rapier. That means I need to make a command, right? Okay, done. So let's make a command. Is rodeo 3D? I don't think so. It's just, I don't know. What does it claim to be? I need to make a link, right? It's an audio playback library. It uses cpal. So there's no positioning. It's just what would you call it? Just channel based. Doesn't have spatial sounds. Yeah, it's not like OpenAL, which you can place things in. So maybe it's not the best for making games, but I just needed it to make sound in general. So add com rodeo, and we're gonna say what they say. Rust playback library. Rodeo is a Rust library for playing audio files. That's literally all that it is, right? All right, if I wanted something more advanced, yeah, something like OpenAL, which lets you do spatial audio, would be kind of nice. Okay, so I'm kind of out of time, but yeah, I wanted to sever these things because stream is not shareable. So what to call this? How about we call it sound system and we'll call the other one sound mixer. And we don't need to say that. And then I can kind of move the arc out, right? Actually, no, we share that with other things. It has to stay in there. So it does this. Okay, and then I guess we'll just say sound system. And we're going to get two things. We're going to get ourself, and we're also going to get a sound mixer. Okay, and then we just simply say self, and we move the mix controller out like that. Right? Oh, we have to make a sound mixer with the mix controller inside. Like that. Cool. Then play is not an impl of sound system anymore. It's a sound mixer. Right? Okay, and then back in app, when we import this, it's sound system. Because it's a sound system. And here when we make it, we're making two things. We have, I don't think this needs to be mutable anymore, right? Maybe not. Sound and sound mixer. Sound system new. So then we're really cloning the mixer. And we're saying mixer play. Okay, but to clone it, I have to like actually put into an arc, right? Or let's say RC. It doesn't even need to be synchronous, right? New mixer. Oh, it does if we send it, right? Mutable. Can we do interior mutability? Oh, it doesn't need mutability. It can just be immutable. Even better. Great, now it builds. So fix the warnings. Well, yeah, we'll just call it mixer. And call this one system. And then here we gotta fix things, right? So when we use sound system as sound system. So that's really sound system new. And I actually like to rename that one there to sound system. Cool. So then get rid of some of this commented out code, right? I had that commented out just in case I lost it. So we don't need it anymore, right? Okay, cool. Our event handler really just doesn't care about the callback. It just calls it, right? Don't need to couple the sound with the physics engine anymore. We leave that note because we really like to have a trait alias. This is a hack to make something that looks like a trait alias. It's a super trait that has a blanket implementation. I barely understand it myself, so don't ask me to explain it. Just kidding. Could try to explain it if you want, but I should try to explain it because the more I try to explain it, the more I'll understand. Here's the really ugly part. This is how we bind the sound with the physics event, right? We make some kind of generic event handler that we load a sound and we move it into a closure that when the closure is called with two handles to two objects and then how hard they hit each other, we say, well, as long as neither of them is the ground and we hit hard enough, we're actually going to tell this mixer to play our sound. So we capture a handle to the mixer, we capture our sound. We actually have to clone it because every time we play it, we're making another instance of the sound. And then we're also printing that out. I guess we don't really need that anymore. I can probably get rid of that. That was spam, right? What if I make it a debug? Then we won't see it unless I turn on the increase the logging level. So in the end, we get this event handler that, where do we use it? Find all references. Find all references. Yeah, that every time we step the physics engine, we take it out of the app, we let the physics engine borrow it and we put it back. And I had to do this little dance because of how, if I don't do that, we have multiple borrows because we're borrowing the app to get to the physics world, but then the step needs to borrow the event handler, which is borrowed from the app. We end up with two borrows and it gets really messy. So I did a little trick where the event handler is actually in an option. which lets you take it out and then put it back. Kind of cool. Yep, definitely have to stop. But we're at 0 warnings, 0 errors, and I should build it to make sure it actually builds. Wouldn't it be embarrassing if it crashed or didn't run right now at the end of the stream? Wouldn't that be embarrassing? But no, it runs. Lower that volume so it's not so loud. Cool. All right. Oh, Togglebit's still going, but we don't know how long, so we have to quickly raid him before he tries to raid me. Here we go. I gotta go to work, but you guys can keep watching Twitch. That's fine with me. In fact, I encourage you to watch Togglebit. He's very entertaining. I'm sure you'll have fun. I will see you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye!
I mean, they are a charm, aren't they? They are a little